friends, I wanted to jump on here and do my haul of the books that I have purchased in the month of January. So some of these books I have already read, and some of them I haven't gotten to, but because they were books that I probably got on a really good deal, or they were, given to me, or X, Y, or Z, they're in this haul because I technically got them in the month of January. So first book that I'm going to talk about that I did purchase was when I was a Puerto Rican. This book is by Esmeralda Santiago, and it's basically a memoir of her, story, her growing up in Puerto Rico. I believe it was in the 1950s. And so it's a really good book. I definitely recommend this book. I have a little bit of a spiel on this book, and I said that this book was hard to read the first time that I picked it up, but I want to clarify, it wasn't hard to read because of anything that Esmeralda said in the book. The book, at that time when I was reading it, I was in my early 20s, and it had a lot of triggers for me. And now I was, abuse survivor, and I went through a lot of PTSD of things I went through as a child. And so reading this book kind of brought up a lot of that and so I couldn't read it. But thankfully, I worked through a lot of those issues. And when I picked it up recently, I was able to get through this book and actually really appreciate her experiences, and even in the way that it wasn't compared to my own experiences. So I don't want to put anybody off from getting this book, because I think last time I said it was hard to get through. But like I said, it had nothing to do with her writing or anything that she says in this book. It was hard to get through because of the triggers for me, myself. I'm not going to say that, it's the best book I've ever read, but because it's her story and she was telling it, I completely appreciated that. And there are some things that, definitely can totally relate to with her. So when I was a Puerto Rican, that was the first book. I also got this book, The Blood of Flowers. And, I should also mention, I got this book on Thrift Books, and it was like $3.99 or $2.99 or something like that. So some of these books I got on thriftbooks.com. Some of them I got at Dollar Tree. Some of them I got at Savers. So a lot of them are used, and only two are brand new. So the second book that I got was The Blood of Flowers by Anita Amirazvani. I don't know if I'm saying that correct. But anyway, I got this book because, I'm going to be really honest with you, I got this book because I love the cover. And that was pretty much it. So I haven't really read a lot about the story, but because the book was so beautiful, I was like, you know what, I want to read it. I want to know what it's about. So I'm going at it completely blind. But I'm excited. In the beginning of in the front of the book, it says, "Enchanting, a passion-filled, exotic delight, a beautiful tale of love, loyalty, friendship, and family. What an achievement." And that grabbed me, because not only is this a beautiful picture, but even that in itself sold me on this book. So I'm excited to read that. I did talk about this book in another video that I made, and it's called The Sadness of the Samurai by Victor del Albor. And I did pick this up at Dollar Tree. I said this was a book about I believe it's a woman named Isabel. And Isabel, this is in 1941, Isabel lives in Spain, and she plots to murder her husband, who is a fascist, person, and she decides with her lover to murder her husband. So that's all I know about this book. Actually, no, I take that back. Her ancestor, Maria, in 1981, comes across the story of Isabel, and she decides that she's going to take it upon herself to try to solve this mystery between, what happened with Isabel, why the murder, and all of that stuff. So I'm excited to read this, but I haven't gotten a chance to, delve into this book yet, but it's on my TBR. Another book that I picked up at the Dollar Tree was Burial Rites by Hannah Kent. I did read this book. I liked it. It's not a book for everybody. It's not a happy book. It's actually very sad. It's a story about a woman, Agnes Magnus' daughter, who decides that she doesn't decide. She gets sentenced. It's not her decision. She gets sentenced to death. And so because of that in itself, it's already a sad story. But it's a good book. The way that it was written, it was beautiful. You can see yourself in the story, and I love books like that when you can really see yourself there. Not necessarily that you want to be in the situation at all, but nonetheless, I appreciate her writing style, and I say that this is a good book and you should read it if you want. Another book that I picked up at Dollar Tree was The Madonna on the Moon, and this is a novel by Rolf Boderick. And I don't know too much about this except that it's supposed to be, based on hippies and all this other stuff. And, so I decided that I was going to pick this book up. I still don't have any idea what it's about. I haven't read any reviews on this book because I don't want to know anything about it. I want to read it. I want to form my own opinion. And so this is another one that I want to go at blind. So I will let you guys know if I do read it. If I do read it, anytime soon, what I think of it and if it's worth your dime. Then I picked up The Girl Who Played with Fire and The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo by Stieg Larsson. I have heard that this book, A Girl with a Dragon Tattoo, was made into a movie, but I've never seen the movie, and I don't know anything about what's up with these two books, so I'm going at these blind as well. So I'm excited about that because, sometimes when there's a book that has a movie, there's a lot of hype around it and a lot of people know about it, so they talk about it. But I've been lucky enough to be able to, not hear any of it. So I will form my own opinion on these books and I will let you guys know about it. I also picked up from thrift books these, The Girl with a Dragon Tattoo. I actually picked these up at Savers. And I believe the other three I told you guys I picked them up at Dollar Tree. This one, Barack Obama, Dreams from My Father, I picked up from thrift books. And I believe this book was like $1.99 or something like that. When I got it, I was a little bit disappointed because it's pretty beat up. It's like, I don't know if you can tell. It's pretty beat up. So, I figured I'll read it and I'll pass it along to whomever. But I don't like getting books like this because to me it's just like, how can you do this to a book? So, but I'm going to read it. I'm interested in reading it. It's the story of race and inheritance, and it says perceptive and wise. This book will tell you something about yourself, whether you are black or white. And I love that. I think that Obama was one of those presidents that definitely was judged based upon his color, and a lot of people just couldn't see past that, and that's my own personal opinion. I think he did a lot of great things. There's some things that I don't agree with him on, but with that being said, I'm interested in reading this story. Another book that I picked up at Savers was A Mastery of Love. This book was interesting, was on my list to get because I have the Four Agreements. I love the Four Agreements. Don Miguel Ruiz is a Toltec wisdom master, guru, shaman, or all kinds of different things. But I decided that I was going to go ahead and get this book because I didn't have it, and it's Toltec wisdom book. It says a practical guide to the art of relationship. Who can go without having, a great relationship? I think everybody needs help with that. So I picked that up. I don't know if this is a continuation of the Four Agreements, but I'm going at it and with the same mind frame that I go with every book, and that is blind, and I'll let you guys know what I think of it. Then I picked up Mitch Albom's The 5 People You Meet in Heaven. This book came out in about 2010 or before, maybe before. But I have always wanted to read it because Mitch Albom is the author of Tuesdays with Morrie. And I just was interested in reading it because I've read that one and I wanted to see what this one was all about. So I picked it up. I saw it at Savers. Couldn't go pass it up. And it's almost brand new. Like you could see that the pages are like so sparkling white. Like they had never even been touched. So I don't know. Even the bookmark, which I love when books have bookmarks like this. The bookmark wasn't even like moved or nothing. It's in perfect condition, and it's hardbound, and it's small. You can stick it in your purse. I love it. So what was I gonna say about this book? I wanted to read it. I'll let you guys know what I think about it. And I got this at Savers, I believe. And lastly, at Savers, I also found The Notebook. Now, this is a book, obviously, that has a movie. And this actually comes with the movie, has the DVD in the back of the book. But I wanted to read the actual story behind the movie. The movie is one of my favorites. My husband loves this movie. It's kind of annoying. He watches it more than I would. And he's always like, oh, that's going to be us. And I'm like, that puts me in a position where like I'm the one that loses her mind. No, I don't like that. So scratch that. I'm going to live a long, healthy life way back past 97 years old. You're not going to have to write a notebook for me. But all in all, I love the story and I wanted to read it rather than just, you know, the movie. I usually like to read the books before I watch the movie, but it didn't happen this time around. I got to watch the movie before I saw I read the books. So I'm just going to go ahead and do it backwards this time around. And that was it. That's all I got in January. I did get some other books as advanced reader copies, and I have a whole list of those that I have to get through. And I'm going to make a separate video because, I mean, I literally have 22 books to review. And I don't think that it's fair to stick them in a book, in a video at the end of this that I just went through. So I'm going to make that a separate video and hopefully you guys can watch. There's a lot of great books coming up this year and I'm excited to have been reading them already, and I want to give you guys some recommendations and I want to let you know what to look out for. Namely, there's this one book by Sophie Kinsella that's My Not So Perfect Life. I love it. I love it. It's going to be a really great book. I think, in my opinion, it's going to be one of those that, you know, has a lot of hype on here, but for a good reason. It's a great book. So I'm excited to tell you guys about that. I'm excited to tell you guys about a lot of things. There's so many books that are going to be coming out in this year, and I'm excited for us book lovers because, like, who doesn't need books? That's it for now. I hope that you guys have a great and wonderful day. Thank you so much for spending some time with me, and please click subscribe and let me know what else you want to see in this channel, and I will definitely do my best to accommodate you. Until then, may great books be in our future.